Scotty, beam me up.
Oh. Smash.
Get over here. It is pointless to resist.
I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. I don't wanna grow up, 'cause if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I wanna be a Toys R Us kid. Help! We've been robbed!
Stop! Stop, evildoers!
Introducing super stretching superhero Stretch Armstrong. Yes, Stretch Armstrong. Now stretching fun farther than ever before. He bends, he stretches, even ties and knots, but always returns to his original shape.
How's he do that?
He's been doing that since he was a kid. Stretch Armstrong from Cap Toys. Who else?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Geeked in with Chris Stiles once again. What's up, buddy?
What up, guys? How's everyone doing?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
You're coming down off con.
Yeah, me too. I'm still feeling it. Still hungover from it.
I had to skip it, unfortunately. Had some issues come up, but you know, it is what it is. You guys were still able to go, so that's all that matters. But you guys both had a great time, it seems. You finally got them meet in person.
Yeah, we did.
True, yeah, true. It was weird though, because I've been on so many of these with you guys. It didn't feel strange at all. It was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it did
I
not.
already know him, you know.
Yeah, I was like coming in, and he was like coming out, and he just goes, "Craig." I was like, "Hey."
Hell
You get
yeah,
so used to
man.
doing these, and you get so used to like talking to these people all the time that it doesn't make a difference if it's your first time seeing him in person or not.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you hear their
Kinda
voice
weird like that.
just like, oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
Like when Craig and I met up at Quakertown Flea Market.
Yep.
It was just like two old buddies. Just, hey, haven't seen you since high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep, I know.
That would be
exactly.
weird. I don't think I've ever, because I went to high school out in the Midwest. It would be strange for me to see someone I knew from high school at a convention. It would be very strange.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
That's funny. I can expect to see people I went to high school with at the conventions here almost every time.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and we only have two. Like, there's some little ones, but we have two big ones, one in Edmonton, one in Calgary, and I will see somebody I went to high school with at both of them for sure.
Oh wow.
And Alberta's a big place. It shouldn't happen. I'd rather it didn't. They probably would rather it didn't. And here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be strange. But the con was a great time. I mean, Craig, we met basically the same people, I think, right? Mark
Yeah.
Holden was awesome.
Yeah.
Diane Salinger was awesome.
Yep.
Judy Aronson was super cool.
Yeah.
um,
Aaronson was cool.
I didn't get to meet Eric Roberts. He's my fucking hero, and I was too shy. And I have met William Ragsdale once before, but I barely talked to him because I was just rear-ended on my way to that convention. So I was like, okay, I love, Herman's Head Mannequin 2 and Fright Night 2, Fright Night 1. Okay, bye. But yeah, like everyone I talked to was great. Felissa is always a charmer, but I didn't really get a chance to talk to her too much during the show. A little bit Friday night before the show, but I've done like panels and stuff with her so many times by now. You know, she's always puts great energy into conventions. That's why her line is always like around the block. You know.
Yep.
And that's why everyone always wants to work with her, and everyone loves her. You know.
Yeah. Same with Dave Sheridan. Like he creates real lines. Like he's a tough, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, dude, that guy's awesome. And very generous with his time and stuff like that, and not a fucking big shot celebrity at all. Like, you know, some people like won't make eye contact with you and shit like that if you're kind of like coming into a conversation they're having. Yeah, he's not like that at all. Very, very open, very friendly. And like really cool that he still does like the doofy, you know, shit.
Yeah.
That's
it is cool.
Craig,
props, you know. A lot of people would be trying to cancel that part of their past these days. He's like, no, fuck it, man. People love me for this shit. Like, and it's weird to think of Scary Movie as a classic, but yeah, that movie's 20 goddamn years old now.
He only did it in one movie too, right? Like it was just the right amount of movies with Doofy in it.
Yeah.
And if you really like watch the movie and you know what it parodies, he's not really making fun of people with mental handicaps.
There it is.
He's making yes.
That made me so happy when I saw this picture.
Oh my god, that rules. See, he's not really making fun of people with like handicaps or anything like that. He's making fun of David Arquette's performance on the screen.
Yeah.
And that character, and it's hilarious and it's genius. I absolutely love it. But
because it was so close.
I get it, dude. It's edgy, you know. It's edgy, you know. I've probably had a few matchups lately that I probably wish I could take back because I feel like they were maybe a little too edgy even for me. But like sometimes I just can't resist when like the film world just like I don't know. I see things in a strange way. I think my whole world is movies, so that's like that shapes all of my life experiences, you know. But
nothing wrong with that though.
Those last few mashups have actually been pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Welcome.
You know, what is now going to be one of my favorites came straight out of the comments section. Reading Rambo. Right?
Yeah.
I did
so good.
I did this one, and it was I did Conan the Librarian, and someone in the comments was like, reading Rambo needs to be his fucking like co-pilot. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, hold my fucking beer,
awesome.
like Jesus Christ. And that's like, that's like the way it came out, you know. I actually used the new 4K disc artwork for that one, and I was like, yeah, this is. I mean, that itself is a mashup of all the old posters. But I was like, I really like the way this one came out. So I'm gonna use this. And the rainbow, just fucking, there's something about that with like Rambo and that, like, they feel like they're born to go together. I don't know if it's just like. If it's the homoerotic subtext of a character like Rambo, but I'm all for it. Like I love Rambo's my fucking dude. Like Rambo is the shit. But there definitely has become something homoerotic about that whole point in time in the 80s and like macho, beefy dudes and like not to get like uber political, but like. My roommate works for DirecTV. I'll tell this quick story, right? And he goes into all people's houses and installs their cable and shit. And he says, like, he's been into a few houses of really conservative guys, and they have like these posters, these Rambo posters with Trump's head on them, like over their bed, like. And like you can't tell me that there's not like something deeply homophobic and homoerotic going on at the same time. Like just the fact that anyone like made that is weird to begin with. And then the fact that they were like, I think other people are gonna love this so much that I could sell it. And they were fucking correct. And dudes put it over their bed. Like that's where you put like, a pinup, that's where you put like a hot babe washing a car if you're like grew up in the 80s or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where you put absolutely anything else.
Yeah, right? Like that's where I cut up all the Christy Swansons off my Buffy VHS and I like put that shit there on my wall when I was a kid. Of course, she probably now has a Trump fucking thing over her bed, so
possible.
She went.
She's a weird one.
Hard. Yeah, she went pretty hardcore conservative. And apparently, from what I've been told, in like some ways that are not very cool. like, you know, not like anti-gay stuff. You know, I haven't seen any of that personally, but if that's true, then obviously that's way beyond not fucking cool
I
at
hope
all.
the vampires get her then.
Paul Rubens,
Yeah.
the one-armed vampire. The best. Pee-wee's done it all, man. Right? I mean, shit. Mystery Men, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 3 fucking great, well, 2 great Pee-wee movies, and also Big Top Pee-wee, which I love. I don't care. Got Chris Christopherson in a Pee-wee movie. Like, what fucking planet of cocaine and gunpowder did that happen on?
Well, it's crazy because he started as a stand-up, and then like a pretty high caliber level of it, and then to turn that into Pee-wee, that's such a leap.
It really is.
Pee-wee wants a pickle.
You know, Pee-wee, or Paul Rubens, I should say, got his start kind of in, you know, with the Groundlings. It was like a comedy troupe that like Phil Hartman was a part of.
Yeah.
And John Paragon, who played Jambi, the genie who recently passed, was a part of. Cassandra Peterson, who's Elvira, was a part of. A lot of great people. Some other SNL people were there, but I just like, you know, I love like tracing all that shit back to its roots. Like you know, coming up in that like 70s, 80s era, like you either came through the Groundlings, like SCTV, or National Lampoons. Those were like sort of like the 3 places where like comedy was happening, or you know, Second City a little bit too, I guess.
That's what we had. Like that was the big one here was SCTV.
Yeah, SCTV, obviously. Yeah, that was right. That was an import. Another thing I fucking love about Canada, man. I'm telling you, I gotta go there. I feel like I'm from there somehow.
A lot of big names on that show.
It ran a while too.
John Candy, Rick Moranis.
Well, you know, and there was a whole period of that where so many of the great comic actors and comedians came from, I don't know what you call this, but like it's like from Chicago to Canada. Like, you know, maybe they would come from like maybe Wisconsin or something every now and again, somewhere with Michigan, you know, like a Detroit, you know, like around that kind of area, that like the Midwest and Canada. Like Mike Myers, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, like the list is
They're all
like
in that
epic.
section.
Yeah, they really are. Jim Belushi, John Belushi, Chris Farley. You know, I'm leaving 100 more out, I'm sure.
Jim Carrey, I believe.
John Hughes, obviously. Jim Carrey was from Canada, yes, of course.
And that area.
Michael J. Fox, yeah. It's crazy, yeah. The list is like so deep.
Yeah.
Chi-Town and Canada Pride, man.
Oh yeah.
There are
But,
some
you know,
outliers, but not many. Like I'm trying to think of Canadian celebrities from outside that area in Ontario, and there's a couple like Tommy Chong and Sutherland's, but I mean the old man Sutherland was from that area. The young one was from further west, and
what, Kiefer?
Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh man, I didn't know they were from Canada too. That's awesome.
Their great grandfather is the reason we have universal health care.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Get the fuck out, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sutherlands are fucking solid people. That's awesome. Man, if you took all the fucking Canadians out of America, we'd just be a bunch of angry, like, Alabama weirdos in, like, our fucking yards with our wife beaters on, like, screaming, you know, with our car up on blocks and, like, our house getting repossessed and, you know.
Because we have all that here, too. Like, a lot of it.
I don't know,
like,
man.
Alberta's like a 3,000-kilometer trailer park.
Really, don't ruin the fantasy for me, man. I know nothing is what it used to be anymore, too. And this is like you go to LA, and apparently now you can't even go to the beach because it's all fucking homeless people in tents.
Oh.
And they just can't get rid of them. And it's like, and I know Washington D.C. is like that. Like, and you go outside your hotel, and there's just like the whole city's like built for it. They just have like an extra like thing in between every sidewalk for like homeless people with tents, or on the side of every street. Like, it's weird.
That's not.
That makes me sad.
It's very sad, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one sense, I'm sad because I'm like, I should be living in a tent for free. God damn it, that sounds awesome. Like, I'm jealous.
Big part of it.
But of course, you know, I don't like bemoan and belittle and make jokes about homelessness.
Not me.
But I
either.
will say, you know, fucking A, let them do it right. If they're gonna do it, like, shit, people who are
Well,
living
keep
worse.
it safe. Why not?
Homeless and being homeless in Alaska, that shit's gotta fucking suck.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
six
like
months
being
of
homeless.
winter, 6 months of night, you know? Fuck that shit.
No. No, thank you.
Well, that's what it's like here. It's pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's cold more than it's not, right? Like this summer was an anomaly. It was fucking crazy hot here. It was record breaking on every level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time I ever heard a Canadian bitch about 100-degree weather.
It was just too much.
What? What is what?
But the good news, because I'm Canadian also, today on the radio they had said that it snowed for the first time in Jasper, and that's in the mountains, but it's still like, yes, it's still Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even thought about that, but yeah, there must be epic skiing and snowboarding in Canada as well.
Fuck yeah.
Well, we've got the Rockies here too.
Really?
Yeah, just the northern part.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I've done it out, I haven't done it in, gosh, almost 20 years now, but I would love to snowboard again, just like I would love to rollerblade again. There's so many of those things that, you know,
Last time I rollerbladed successfully, I was 10, 11,
Oh, man.
and I outgrew my skates, and my mom just never got me a new pair. Had she, I never would have stopped, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, every now and again, I'll go and I'll just look at like what the street skates are like now, and I'm like, oh, dude, if they had these skates when I was a kid, like I would have been 10 times better than I was. Like,
Yeah.
the skates they have today are like, oh, shit. I remember like, I got K2 fatties just because they had like kind of a bigger sole to grind with, and now they have like these gigantic soles that you can grind with, and everything has like, you know, grind plates, and the middle wheels are super spaced out, and like, just like, oh yeah, these are, you know, all pre-grooved and shit like that. Like, oh, this is
I had a
perfect.
pair of Dirks. Yeah, they were.
Oh, Dirks were nice. Yeah, Dirks might have come with a slight pre-groove.
Yeah.
They were probably one of the first ones to do that.
Yeah.
But, no,
I just love it. There's something so free about being on rollerblades.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you just feel like you're literally floating.
Yeah.
And pushing against the ground, but you're not, because you got that much space between you and the ground.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what am I pushing on? That's a weird sensation.
It's weird, like roller skating. Like I could never roller skate. Roller skates feel so weird to me.
That's funny because I had such an easy time doing that, but rollerblading, I could not for the life of me.
Matt,
really? And you would think, Mr. Canada, like you grew up in the land of hockey, you would think it's like it translates like ice skating. Can you ice skate?
I'm great at ice skating, as a matter of fact.
Oh my God! See, ice skating is harder, I think, than rollerblading.
It is. I'm telling you right now.
Maybe I had shitty rollerblades.
Yeah, you must have had some shitty blades, because I can ice skate a little bit, but like not nearly as well as I could rollerblade. And I could not ice skate until I became a good rollerblader. Then I tried ice skating. I was like, oh, I get this. It's just like rollerblades, except for stopping. How do you stop? Wait, what?
Shit!
Here's the worst rollerblading anecdote you'll ever hear. My stepmom at the time, in a bid to win me over, bought me these rollerblades, and I didn't even want to try them because they were like ski boots. They were huge. I could not see anything good coming of it at all. So anyway, she got mad about it. My dad's like, can you just try them? So I put them on, and we lived in a town that was on a hill, and I lived at the top of the hill, and the school was at the bottom of the hill.
Oh God!
What better way to try out rollerblades? Like, because I could go sideways too. If things went south, I could bail and not hurt myself. Right? It was perfect.
Yeah, you figure you put the skiing principles into it, right? Like,
right.
Go side to side, you know?
And I did, and I made it to
Carve
school.
my way down the hill.
But the fucking things were so uncomfortable. I put them in the bottom of my locker, and they stayed there for the whole year. Never ever touched him again. I could not do it, and I played hockey. That I just couldn't. I couldn't get into him at all. I even put him on one more time, and it's like, no, can't do it.
Well, street skates are definitely not as comfortable as like speed skates, you know. And speed skates have like an easy brake on the back and shit. Speed skates, you feel like you're wearing like air boots or some shit. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you're not even wearing anything. Yeah. Yeah, street skates, especially if they're way too big, they're gonna be super uncomfortable, and you really got to break them in anyways. Like both any skate. It's kind of like I remember I used to snowboard a lot, and then like 1 year I switched the bindings on my board to like click in bindings, right? It was like, oh, this will be great. I'll be able to like click in so much easier. And like it's actually way harder, and I ended up spending more time trying to click in on it. And like when you had like normal bindings on a snowboard, like your feet have a little bit of give like on the board, right? Like you can like kind of like adjust your feet a little bit. Whereas like on the click-in bindings, you're basically wearing like ski boots, like oversized ski boots. So you can't like bend. There's no like, you can't walk comfortably in these things. And then also like there's no give between your feet and the board. So like if you move a little bit, the board moves exactly with you. And like it just destroys your shins and your calves, and like, you know, the end of I remember every year the first ride would be so brutal, like trying to get reused to click in, you know, bindings. But I'm going, you know, way off topic here, I guess. What was the topic today? It's a good thing to talk about, right? We're talking about horror movies.
We're just talking about old movies, like we always
old
do.
Movies.
Us getting on a snowboard right now would be a horror movie. Bam. That's how it ties
well,
in.
fucking A, right? You guys ever see a movie called Johnny Tsunami?
Yes.
No, but that sounds awesome.
Disney movie.
So the plot is the Disney Channel movie from the late 90s. Basically the plot is this kid lives in Hawaii. He has the coolest life ever. His grandfather, played by, I think, Robin Shu. No, the guy who played Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. I forget his name off the top of my head. Yeah. But his grandfather's this cool old like hippie surfer dude, and the kid is like the coolest surfer kid ever. And his dad is chosen from Karate Kid 2, who's like a business, you know, shirt conservative, whatever, stuffy type. Yeah. And his dad decides that he's gonna move them to like Colorado or wherever. And it's freezing, and he gets there and he can't surf, and he's miserable. And then he meets like some of the cool local kids, and they like show him, hey man, you could snowboard, like, you know, because he sucked at skiing, of course, and the snobby kids all ski. And then he like sides with the snowboard kids because it's just like surfing. And there's a big race at the end for control of the mountain, and of course, you know, the snowboarders get to snowboard on the whole mountain instead of just half of it because they win the race. And those movies where, like, you know, after the race, the parents of the good kid go like, "There's a party at our house and everyone's invited," and like everyone shows up, even all the bad guy henchmen except for the main bad guy, right? He's got to be miserable.
Like in Ben.
And who's the main guy? Main bad guy is played by the same actor who played Spike in Little Giants too.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking classic.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, such a great Disney Channel movie.
God.
But like, yeah, skate movies, dude. I fucking just talk skate movies all day. Airborne is just fucking gold. Brink. Oh God, Soul Skaters. Yes.
Soul Skaters.
Rollerblade movies, dude. And that the girl in Brink is Christina Vidal, I think is her name, from Life with Mikey.
Yeah.
So they're bringing it back to Canada. Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Like, and the other kid in Life with Mikey, David Krumholtz, I think his name is.
Oh, Bernard.
Was that the character?
No, I call him Bernard because he was in the Santa Claus.
Oh yes, okay, right.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about now. That's right. Fucking love that dude. Is amazing in everything.
Oh my God, yeah. Rosenberg and Goldstein and Harold and Kumar.
Oh right.
Here, you want to suck on
this? Dude, that little like, you're just like that like coked out intense guy in Superbad who's like, you fucking sing. You're a fucking singer. Yep. Sing. Oh my God, fucking classic. And Airborne obviously is just perfection.
Yeah.
Just 90 minutes of perfection. And Stuart Copeland did the music for Airborne, and that is like some of the best fucking score I've ever heard in my life. And like the most rockin' shit. Like when he's hitting the half pipe, oh my god, dude, the music is so fucking epic and perfect.
Yeah.
It's so like rockin' and like Wet and Wild and like video game cool and just that was like probably the peak of the 90s right there.
Yep.
I know for sure.
The half pipe scene in Airborne. Oh man, God, I wish they would have fucking made a sequel to that at some point. So good. Seth Green, yes. And then movies with I'm Too Sexy. Every movie in the 90s had like an I'm Too Sexy montage.
Yep, D2.
Yeah, Encino Man.
Encino Man.
Yeah, fucking goddamn.
You know, speaking of that, did you hear, Chris, that Netflix is doing Beverly Hills Cop 4?
I did not hear about that. I've been hearing all these Beverly Hills Cop 4 rumors forever. And like Ghostbusters 3, I'm just never going to believe it, really, until I'm leaving the theater having just seen it or whatever.
That's fair.
And even then, I'll be skeptical.
Not even
probably.
when you're in line to buy the ticket.
No. Like, I don't get this. Just say, like, people saw Ghostbusters 3 and they're not allowed to talk too much about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I still don't believe it. Like, they just paid a bunch of people. They just put a bunch of Twitter bots out there to be like, I saw Ghostbusters. It is good. Give it your money. Like,
yeah.
Legit.
But, you know, I want Beverly Hills Cop 4 to happen. I want it to be great. And I want as many people to come back as possible. Because people don't realize, like, the secret sauce to Beverly Hills Cop was Taggart and Rosewood. And kind of Ronnie Cox, too, a little bit. Because he was a perfect, like, sort of authority figure for those two characters. But, like, these two stiff, straight, white guys, you know, who are practically a married couple with the way they interact with each other, with, you know, Judge Reinhold's the wife and John Ashton's the husband. Like, they have such a perfect chemistry and, like, you know, such a perfect dynamic for Axel to come in and, like, fuck things up for, you know? And, like, but also loosen them up and make them, like, better dudes. And I don't know, those fucking first couple movies were magic. You know, actually, like 1 and 3, probably the most. 2 has some great moments, but as a movie, I think I'm the least invested in the villain in 2. But they got to get John Ashton back, man. That's the biggest problem with 3, was that there was no Taggart. And I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but he must have been doing something else, because I'm sure they wanted to bring him back.
Do you think, though, that he's going to even be able to do anything that made it awesome?
Eddie?
Yeah.
Well, you know, he doesn't have to be like fucking karate kicking dudes or anything like that. If Ralph Macchio can still do that shit that he does on Cobra Kai, then hell yeah, I think Eddie Murphy can still do a shit. People forget how young Eddie Murphy was when he came up. I know he came up like 41 years ago now, but or 40 years ago, but he was only like 19 back then, so that means he's still only like 59. Harrison Ford's 74 and he's doing Indiana Jones, but they did shut down after like a day because he broke his hip or some shit, like some old man shit.
I don't mean physically able, but like what I liked about Beverly Hills was his ability to
R-ratedness
be
of
Eddie.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I see it being PG on Netflix, if I'm being honest.
That's a good point. Will Netflix go for it the way that it needs to be?
Exactly.
Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Because I saw really Coming to America 2 on Prime, and it did not have it. It wasn't terrible by any stretch. It was actually, for what it was pretty good, actually. But
I would totally agree. Yeah,
as a
follow-up, pretty good. But yeah, it was like a fan film, you know.
Exactly.
It didn't have the raunchiness.
Like Bill and Ted 3. It was just to do it.
Bill and Ted 3, I think, at least felt mostly like a Bill and Ted 3. Like, you know, it felt mostly right because you had the same writers still. You had Alex and Keanu still. And there were some things that were wrong about Bill and Ted 3, but there were some things that were wrong about Bill and Ted 2.
Yeah,
you know, and I love Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
But I think the worst thing with Bill and Ted 3 was that it felt like a digital production. in a lot of like moments, you know, like the big finale and stuff. Like it just didn't feel real like the other two finales did.
Yeah.
It felt like, okay, this was all green screen, and like, yeah, it looks cool, and like, okay, everyone in the history of time is watching, I guess, somehow, which, you know, you don't really, that didn't, I don't know if that really landed. But what I was afraid of was that the whole thing with Bill and Ted 3 was going to be like, oh, it's their daughters are the real heroes. That's the Preston and Logan that saved the, you know, the real, they're really going to be wild stallions.
Yeah.
And like they didn't do that, and I was like, okay, thank God they didn't do that. But they had enough of them, and they I thought the kids were good. They were very good. The one thing that bothers me is they always switch out the princesses every time they make a Bill and Ted movie. They decide we need different princesses this time.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been great to have the originals come back. You know, but what can you do? They were sort of. It's weird what happened to them on Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is very sad because they were brought in to audition for roles that they already played in the first movie. And because the guy who directed Bogus Journey was English, he was very picky about like the way Americans did British accents. And so he picked the girls that he picked, which were not the originals from Excellent Adventure, because he liked their British accents better. And they have like one line in the movie each. I think where they say like, Theodore, William, you know, or something. Yeah. And there's what one line like, yeah, we're quitting Wild Stallions, like you're both losers, bye, you know. It's like, oh man, you could have just gotten like a fucking dialect coach, like or something. Like it was really that bad. You could have dubbed it. I mean, shit. Too. Yeah, it's such a little thing, but I guess it's the way the Brits can be sometimes, you know.
Your accent's too Cockney. You're out.
Yeah. These Americans just have no idea how to speak. But I love the original princesses, man. Kimberly Cates and Diane Franklin. I did a panel with them. They're both absolute sweethearts. Great to their fans. None of them act like big time fucking movie stars, even though they have every right to. Yeah, just both really great people. And I don't know, it always bugs me that it's just weird the way things are, that like a lot of times really great people get fucked over in especially that business. Oh yeah. Not that they, you know, haven't had great careers outside of Bill and Ted, but I just like, God damn it, like they should have been in both of them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and just for continuity, I think that's a fun part of movies.
Yeah, that should always bug me, man. I hate recasting. Like I fucking hate it. Recasting in a sequel, like when Terrence Howard was replaced by Don Cheadle. Like I love Don Cheadle, he's a great dramatic actor, but like Terrence Howard was that role for me. Like he was perfect. Like he could have been an awesome War Machine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, there's so many ones like that. I was a kid, I was pissed when they recast Michael Keaton as Batman, you know, when they said Val Kilmer, now it's George Clooney, now it's like, you know, okay.
I don't even like Batman, and that bothered me.
Well, the Back to the Future 2, they did that.
The only recasting I can sort of live with in my life is in Major League 2 when they recast Wesley Snipes with Omar Epps. For some reason, like Omar Epps just like crushed that role really well. He didn't do a Wesley Snipes impersonation. No. He brought his own thing to it, and like you know that's one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But usually I fucking hate recasting. There's so many of them that bother me, and there's the one I wanted to mention, now I can't think of it.
Back to the Future 2 was one.
That was one, and I love Elizabeth Shue, right? And I love Claudia Wells, and the reason she passed on Back to the Future 2, she didn't get fucked over. The only thing that fucked her over was life. She was taking care of her mom. Her mom was like dying. So just by being a good person, she was like, no, I can't do like these gigantic movies that will make me a fucking movie star and make all my dreams come true. Yeah. I have to take care of my mom and like do what's right by my family. And it's like, damn, you gotta admire that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that is the one I wanted to mention.
And then you had the Crispin Glover controversy.
Now, in that case, I've gotten to talk to Jeffrey Weissman, who played Crispin Glover in the sequels. Yes. And Jeffrey Weissman is, again, a fantastic dude, puts great energy into the things, very accessible, doesn't act like a fucking big shot. And he's very humble about his involvement in the, you know, he's like, oh, well, it wasn't me, they just would have got someone else to do it. And he got tricked into doing it. He didn't even know. Like, you know, his agent asked him like, hey, are you the same height as Crispin Glover? He's like, no, Crispin's still taller than me. Like, do you think you're about the same weight? He's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, is this about Back to the Future? What are you asking me for? Is this about Back to the Future? He's like, well, I can't tell you. He's like, well, get me in there. And he thought he would have to double Crispin, right? Because it's a time travel movie. They thought there'd be 2 Crispins in the same place at the same time. So he got hired under that pretense. And then when they put him in makeup, like the prosthetic nose and shit to look more like Crispin, he just thought like, okay, far away shots or like whatever. Yeah, I get my profiling to look a little bit more like him. And then like he says he had no idea. And then Michael J. Fox like walked by him in the makeup show. He's like, uh-oh, Crispin's not gonna like this fucking shit. Like, and he's like, well, what do you mean? What's going on? And, you know, and then they had to tell him like, oh yeah, like you're playing George McFly. He's like, what? Can I get like a little more money then? Like, because I'm minimum here. They're like, no, you can't do that. He's like, what? Oh, come on. Like, and then they're like, oh yeah, we gotta hang you upside down for like, you know, this whole future scene. So people can't really tell, you know, it's a distractionary sort of thing. And they did recycle a shot of Crispin in part 2. They do zoom in on a shot from part 1 that's Crispin's face. And it's kind of obvious, you know.
Did he just not want to do it?
He demanded all these things that apparently Bob Gale has claimed for years, that Crispin demanded all kinds of insane things that like Michael J. Fox wasn't even getting in his deal. And just like too much money, you know, like a crazy amount of money. Okay. And you know, I think, you know, something like he went like, I don't know, like $2 million or something. And then, you know, when they put this actor, Jeffrey Weissman, you know, they sort of tricked him into being, you know, George McFly, and miserable experiences to be upside down. You got to be in prosthetics. You're going to be out of focus, all this stuff. Then Crispin sues Universal, and Universal won't let Jeffrey Weissman promote the fact that he was just in like the biggest movie ever. He can't do that until like 2 years after the movie comes out. They're like, no, we want you to keep it quiet as long as we can. Like, this movie's still playing overseas in theaters, you know. So he couldn't like tell anyone he was even in these movies until like 1991, by which point, or 1992, by which point like all the heat off of that is gone. Like, oh, what, are you just sitting around for 2 years? Like, you haven't done any other fucking cool shit? Like, so it's a rough story, man, but he's a really nice guy. And I actually really like what he does with George in the sequels, you know. Yeah. That whole Granddad's Little Pumpkin thing was an improv.
How's Granddad's Little Pumpkin?
Yeah, he was stuck upside down and he was looking at Michael J. Fox's butt in a miniskirt. Right. And he was like, oh, it's Granddad's Little Pumpkin. Like, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And that's just a little bit more cooperative, like this is great, you know. They did the Movies That Made Us thing on Netflix, and they just did a Back to the Future thing talking about how difficult Crispin Glover was. And they're like, all right, we're shooting the shot where George McFly walks in the door to the diner, and he's got to go up to Lorraine and tell her he's his density and all this and that, right? And they're like, they're setting up, and it's all ready to shoot, and the director's like, okay, Crispin, so now you walk in the door here. And he's like, wait. I don't feel like George McFly would walk in the door. Like, what? Like, yeah, George doesn't come in the door. Like, no, I don't think that's how he would enter this scene. Like, it's like, well, no, he has to enter this scene. Like, why? Because otherwise he's not in the scene. Like,
right? Like, how is he getting the diner?
Like, this is what we're set up to shoot. You want us to like go set up like 9 other shots of you sneaking into a bathroom window and coming in that way? Like, because of reasons? No, that's not how the rhythm of this movie and the timing of the script works. Like, he comes in the door because the fucking door's here, and this is what the camera's on right now. Like,
you come in the door because it fucking makes sense.
But he was like that about everything. Like, oh, like they do one side of a shot like over his shoulder, and then the next day they do, you know, his face, and then he'd be like, oh, I want my hair to be standing straight up in this scene. Like, no, we already shot the other half. It's not gonna match. It's like, well, Brando never matched. Like, and I could just totally tell being around him a little bit that like, yeah, those stories are all true. Like, I believe those 100%, you know. But what can you do? Some actors are just like that, and you know, then they're brilliant actors, you know, and he is definitely one of them. But you know, some people like Tim Burton is like, you know, brilliant director. So people just don't live on Earth with the rest of us, you know. Like, they live up in the stars.
Yeah, like, I've seen some interviews with him where it's just like, all right.
recently he got to play Mr. World in American Gods, and that's just the fucking role for him.
Well, I could imagine.
It is insane, and he's so fucking good at it.
He did. That's a really good role. That's probably my favorite role of his.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. It's on Stars if you're interested.
Yeah, I gotta get into some of that newer stuff that he's been doing. But yeah, you know, like I remember there's a scene like where Michael J. Fox is telling him like, you gotta take the reign of the dance, you know.
Yeah.
And like he grabs a, you know, like a broom off the porch and starts like sweeping at Michael J. Fox, like shoot, like he's like a raccoon on the porch or something. He's like, after like a take, Michael J. Fox is like, I love it, man, but like, what's with the broom? And he's like, it's the sweep of indignation. Like, and it's like, okay, man, he just sees things differently.
Yeah.
Good for him.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
But I see things fucking differently and weird too, I guess. I don't know. Like, who else would think, like, you know, Halloween H2O with fucking Adam Sandler and the Water Boy?
I know.
It's perfect, but it's, you know, it's so obvious. You know, someone else probably did think of it, but I don't know.
Hard to say.
Who else thinks of Double Dragon with Dolph and Van Damme? That's still one of my favorites.
Oh, damn. That'd actually be something.
Oh, you never saw that one?
Uh-uh.
I did a mashup of that. I'll show it to you guys after the break.
I may have, but I don't remember. I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, one. I haven't picked which ones to show today yet. So that one, I'll put that one in. It's fairly recent.
Well, on that note, why don't we go ahead and take a quick break?
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Sounds good.
RoboCop, part man, part robot, all cop.
Drop it!
RoboCop and the Ultra Police, each sold separately. The only cops with rapid repeat cap firing.
Evil headhunter on a Skullhawk is cruising for trouble. RoboCop in his armored RoboCopter takes off after him. Fire Robo-missile. We'll give you a lift to jail.
You put RoboCopter together. RoboCop vehicles and figures with RoboCaps, each sold separately.
What's hot?
What's not?
What's hot?
What's not?
What's hot?
Instant Quaker oatmeal. What's not? All these cold cereals.
What's hot?
Energy, steaming strong, power packed.
What's hot?
You are living hot, playing hot with this complete breakfast.
What's hot?
Flavors like hot apples and cinnamon and hot maple and brown sugar.
What's hot?
What's not?
Hot.
Not. Instant Quaker oatmeal.
What's hot?
Thank you, Zoom. All right. So, Chris, you got some mashups for us, buddy?
I do have a couple of mashups here today. Let's see. One, since I talked about it, I figured I might as well show it. I know you guys already saw it a couple hours ago, but Halloween H2O. I love fixing pieces of shit because Halloween H2O is a piece of shit, but this version of it would be amazing. I would watch it. And I also think the Waterboy is kind of a piece of shit, too.
I love the Waterboy, though.
I love the Waterboy, but like it's the beginning of the end for Sandler. You know, it's like Wedding Singer was the peak, and then everything since then has been kind of a downward slope.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're watching Sandman.
QB Halloween was stupid, but it was funny.
Another one, since I mentioned it, I figure I got to show it. Reading Rambo. Yeah, again,
so good.
Yes.
This may be my favorite now. I don't know, it's really tough to say. I do love this one though. That's a classic illustration though.
Yeah,
and it just
Rambo
fits.
for sure. Yeah, it just looks like it's made to go. Like if this was like if they had this poster in schools, like kids would have read a lot more than they did. Reading would have been so much fucking cooler. So much cooler than it is. And I guess I'm in an action mood today. I hope I haven't showed this one already, but we all grew up in the 90s. We did mention Full House briefly. We all love the Olsen twins. And the action
Those
movie
pipes.
we could have gotten, like those pipes, right?
That's a missed opportunity, Hollywood.
Yeah, seriously, Hollywood, you fucked up. You done it. Went ahead and fucked up, and you
Now they
missed
don't have
out.
those muscles anymore.
And that's one of my favorites.
Now you have to do it with Jonathan Lipnicki. Jean-Claude Lipnicki. But speaking of Jean-Claude,
that's one of my favorite Van Damme movies too. So
oh, me too. Yeah. So much fun. But what would have been my favorite Van Damme movie is the Van Damme movie we didn't get. That could have been the ultimate video game movie right here. Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. I mean, fucking
I've
like
never
seriously. Who do I have
That's
to pay
amazing.
to get this made? Because like, oh,
holy
this movie
shit.
would be
Take
everything.
my money, please.
Right? Like still, like you make it now, make it double old ass dragon.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they have to fight
fuck
each other
yeah.
at the end.
or at the end they got to fight another different couple expendables or
Machine
like
Gun Joe.
yeah, some just giant dude. Kimbo Slice still alive? I don't know.
No, he
Ew.
passed away.
He passed away. Well, fuck. I know.
Okay, bring back Robert Patrick.
Oh yeah.
For Machine Gun Joe. It's gotta be
Yeah,
big.
he was in another one. You know, I think to bring back Robert Patrick, you'd have to have a real death wish. But we did mention Bill and Ted. Now, I would fucking watch any spin-off of William Sadler's Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
The man
a bass
is-
solo in there.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And the rap. You got it.
Oh hell yeah! You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later.
You dance with the Reaper.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. So I got one more here. This is, I don't know, I figured since all these action movies, I better mix it up and show you a cute one. This is one of my favorite cute ones as well. We did talk about John Hughes. So. Like, again, you missed out, Hollywood. You done fucked up. You could have had this movie would be incredible. Like, step aside, Benjamin Button. We're talking Oscars here. Mega fucking Oscars. Take all your de-aging tools, whatever you need to do to make this happen, and just make it happen. God damn it, it would be amazing. I love you, Susan Sarandon.
James Belushi. Oof. Nothing
Yeah.
saving that.
I will say, though, in James Belushi's defense, right? Have you ever seen About Last Night?
No.
It's incredible. Have you ever seen Taking Care of Business?
Yes.
Okay, that's incredible. Mr. Destiny?
Yeah.
Right? Come on, you got 3 incredible performances there. About Last Night trumps them all, though. It's just literally watch About Last Night from 1986 with Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Elizabeth Perkins, and James Belushi. Watch the first 5 minutes. It's all a James Belushi monologue. If that doesn't make you want to watch the rest of the movie, I don't know shit about shit. I don't know
There's
shit
this,
about fuck.
There was that stretch there where everybody did the same movie. The cop, the dog cop, I fell asleep in what was my fantasy reality
I love
movie.
dog cop movies. I just did Turner and Hooch. Oh, I should have showed that with Tina. Yeah.
When they're redoing it on Disney Plus.
I know, and they done fucked up again because they didn't put Tina Turner in it. Tina Turner and Hooch, or at the very least, Kathleen Turner and Hooch. Like, you know, Ike Turner's dead. Probably wouldn't cast him anyways. Let's, be real. Too tall.
Bad News Bears, yeah.
News Bears.
Walter Matthau.
Oh my God, yes.
Speaking of
Matthau, I would have
Speaking of
loved to have seen Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon do like a fucking old ass buddy cop movie, like some Death Wish canon type of shit. But it's just like hookers and punks and like, fucking rocket launchers and like just crime to like no end.
Yeah,
it's like unlimited crime. Like,
Speaking of Walter Matthau, I just watched Dennis the Menace the other day.
oh, it's brilliant.
It's actually not bad.
It actually holds up pretty good.
It's a fine film. Christopher Lloyd is great. The kid does a great. They got a good kid to play Dennis the Menace.
Sure.
Margaret is annoying. That works.
That is a very well played role right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a solid movie. Who doesn't love Leah Thompson?
Oh yeah, he's great and everything too.
The dad is perfect casting. Dad looks exactly like the fucking like comics or the cartoons or whatever.
And Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, of course. Like,
oh yeah, Mrs. Wilson is fucking great.
Yeah,
she's brilliant.
George. I would have been a good mother, George. And I would have made a swell fireman.
Swell.
Swell.
He's a foot short for his age.
And he's
he's
cross-eyed.
cross-eyed.
He's gonna have to learn to live with disappointment. Now, Mitchell, don't make me out to be some ogre or a bully. Oh, and they even a little cameo by Buzz from Home Alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Natasha Lyonne. Oh man, totally one of my first crushes.
Oh my
Loved
god,
her.
yeah. That's
Slums
right.
of Beverly Hills. This is the real crime of Disney owning Fox, is that like Slums of Beverly Hills is like never gonna get released again. It's like never gonna come out on fucking Blu-ray or 4K or anything. And they're a bunch of goddamn whores for it. That movie's brilliant. And it's David fucking Krumholtz, and it's Alan Arkin, it's Natasha Lyonne.
Oh no shit.
Brilliant.
That's a good movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. Great fucking movie.
One I've never seen.
Great little slice of like late 90s into early 2000s era, you know?
Yeah.
There's little
And
indie
just a
movies back
good bunch of
then.
actors in it too.
There's great little indie, yeah, totally. There's great indie movies like Adventures of Sebastian Cole that I remember being really into, and that was like the first time I ever saw Adrian Grenier. And it's just like, yeah, no one gave a shit. And then like they did like Drive Me Crazy, and everyone's like, ah. It's like, oh yeah, that movie's okay, I guess. You know, it's pretty cute. But yeah,
It was like
I forgot about that.
Sundance special back in the day. That movie was always on.
Was
I remember
it
like
Sundance
I would
one?
skip out on school, and it was it Sundance or IFC?
I gotta pick up a copy of that on DVD used.
Yeah.
I gotta start fucking making some cash. So I have DVD money again. I used to get at least like 6 new DVDs a week in the mail.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a mixture of DVDs, and I always would get Blu-ray if I could. But
yeah.
When I had cash to burn, it just made life like worth living. Like, what am I excited to watch tonight? You know?
Yeah.
Got this new thing and that new thing. God, I miss those days. I'll get back there.
We just dug up all our old VHS, and we have quite a few. It's a little unreal.
They have two copies. They have 2 copies, Chris, of the Titanic.
Oh man, my dad has about 80 copies of Dr.
Who the
Zhivago
fuck-
on VHS.
This is a question for Kathy, Matt's wife. Who the fuck needs 2 copies of Titanic?
She couldn't answer that.
I know, so I'm greatly disappointed.
It's in the pile for the garage sale, but we still have a pile of VHS. I'm kind of shocked. That means we've been hauling them around everywhere. And there's a fucking pile of them.
My God.
I love some of those old Warner's big box tapes though. Like fuck the Disney big boxes, but like those old Warner's like Dirty Harry. I think I had Superman like on some bigger boxes and shit. Like some of those were dope. They had like more of like a contraband kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Those were cool.
I have a lot of the Disney ones. That's crazy. I'll get it up and take some pictures.
I feel like some New World ones had big boxes too, or maybe I just got them that way, like from rental stores or something. But like Making Contact and Troll, I think I had in big boxes, although they might have just been like cuts, you know?
Yeah.
There's always that you know, rental thing where they just cut the one side off and stick it, you know, in the big box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Oh man, those were the days.
Yeah. I should have looked for my fucking laser discs when I was in Chicago, but I didn't really think to do so. I should have a player and a laser disc collection sitting there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, something about laser discs, just that big artwork is just always beautiful to me.
Yeah.
It's like vinyls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like vinyls. You got
My record collection, that like I love pulling out the inlays and just reading them.
Oh yes.
reading the lyrics as the record goes, and
Yeah.
makes you feel like a kid again. I love it.
Oh, absolutely.
Fucking
So you got some mashups, Krager?
I do. Let me.
Snuck them in there.
fucking A.
Hold on. Over to you.
Hurry up.
Not the porn folder, Craig.
No, I had to reclaim.
Yeah, we'll get booted from YouTube.
Oh, that'd be funny. First, here's the meme I made.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, what the hell did you do? Alright, so this is, since this is Punk Rock Geek Den, a little bit of monkey trouble.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yes. That's badass.
Oh, that's fucking amazing. I love it.
And then there's, of course, Frantic.
Oh, man. Yes. That's fucking brilliant. Oh my god.
You can
I
hear
love
that
Fran,
one.
dude. Fran Drescher
Oh
ones
my
I could do
God.
all day. I love Fran Drescher.
Fran
She's like one of my
Drescher
favorite.
is
Like
good
Fran
art.
Drescher and Rosie Perez and Annie Potts are like my 3 all-time crushes.
Yeah.
They all have weird voices.
Damn. That was gold.
The game.
Oh my god, yes. That's awesome. That's so fucking good. Oh yes.
There's Walter Disney.
Honey, I Shrunk Your Cocaine Stash. Oh yes.
Oh my
That's
god.
outstanding.
And then,
Oh.
hold on, give me a minute. I gotta bring this one back up. But continue your conversation while I see.
I don't know what the hell we were talking about.
Dude, the Rick James Moranis, that's incredible.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. Jesus
I figured we
Christ.
were just talking about Rick Moranis.
Honey, I Shrunk Your Cocaine Stash. It's so good.
With my nose.
Yeah. Honey, I fucked your couch.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Chappelle Show was the best.
Oh my god. Charlie Murphy! Rest in peace, Charlie.
Yep. My famous meme.
Yes. Welcome to your torment. Dude, this isn't gonna work. I can't sleep when it's hot out.
Oh my god, that's great. That's fucking
Dude,
great.
I almost missed that photo op too. Like
Yeah,
that's a fun
shit.
con story. I was walking back, like we were walking back into the signing area, and he was like rushed past me, and I was like, wait a minute, he's in costume. And it turns out it was like 3 hours earlier than it was supposed to be. And like if I wouldn't have seen him walking down, I would have been there at 4 o'clock. Like, what the fuck do you mean they already did it?
Oh man.
Shit.
That was just like pure luck. I was like, what time are you going on? He was like, they just told me to come now. He was like, I thought it was 4 o'clock. But
I gotta put some eye drops in real quick. Give me 1 sec here. I apologize.
No, you're
No, you're good.
Tell some what else happened there on there, Craig, that we might not have heard from you yet.
Oh,
Anything
man.
spectacular? Did you?
I think the pictures explain everything that went on.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you follow us on Facebook, you've seen those pictures.
Absolutely.
Most def. Yeah, I'm looking forward to September, man. 2 weeks, it's gonna be great. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a
I
really
cannot
great
wait
time.
for that one.
I am super jealous of that.
Oh wait, I got the infamous picture here.
Oh.
Meet up.
Yep,
Oh, hell
there
yeah.
it is.
It's proof.
See? There's proof, people.
Proof.
Yes. I love how it comes from 2 people that could probably have photoshopped that.
Yeah.
We swear it's real.
Now Now that you mention it.
Now, God damn it, I wasn't thinking about that until you said something, Chris.
Yeah, you always gotta put a little bit of doubt in their minds, right? Always mess with their minds, as they say in Empire Records. Oh man. So are you guys still doing the card questionnaire at the end of the show?
Oh, you want to do questions?
Well, I don't know if that's. I thought that was a cool.
Yeah, we can.
It was a cool little format thing.
We've actually forgotten to do that the past couple episodes. So we can definitely bring that back.
Okay.
I swear to stone, I'm not bad.
I probably have to. I probably have to wrap it up in a little bit. So.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, if you, I don't know. I just figured if you guys
can pull up a couple of trivia questions too.
Oh man, trivia! You'd be hard pressed to get anything past me unless it's like post '90s. You could ask anything about the 2000s. I'm probably not gonna know.
All right.
It just didn't happen.
Yeah. It was 80s part 3, 80s part 4, 80s part
Pretty good ones. All right, you ready? Left, right, or middle?
I'll go middle.
Middle. I could see this. Have you ever eaten a whole tube of Pringles to yourself?
Oh, definitely, multiple times.
Yeah.
I used to drive back and forth in like the Great Outdoors was my movie growing up because we used to drive up to the northernmost points of like Michigan and Wisconsin for like vacations all the time. And I know in Great Outdoors they go to Canada, but you know, for us that was as close as we could get. And that's just like where everyone from the Midwest went. And so we would stop, you know, I would eat the whole thing of Pringles plus a couple Slim Jims and a few Snickers, or like, you know, drink 14,000 Coca-Colas, you know, on the car trip, and use 200, you know, AAA batteries on my Sony Discman, you know.
Yep.
While playing Game Gear or some shit, you know.
Yep.
Just like destroying juice and food and carbohydrates and all kinds of just ridiculousness.
Those little hug juices.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell.
All right, left or right?
I'll go left.
All right. Would you ever consider writing to someone in jail as a pen pal?
Ooh. You know,
all damn day.
I'm sure I would consider it for sure. I should send Lori Loughlin mashups I made of her in jail while she's in jail. So yeah, I would consider that 100%. And I love Lori Loughlin, man. Secret Admirer and Rad. The woman could do no wrong. That should be. If that's not a get out of jail free card, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, right? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, Matt's watching us, you know, from Canada. He's just like, man, those Americans, they're nuts. They're throwing Lori Loughlin in jail.
Over the Rowan team of all things.
Yeah, right? Like, seriously.
Okay. So, I want to add to that question real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Since it's our horror season kickoff kind of thing, if you could pick one serial killer, alive or dead, since I don't really know who's alive or dead anymore, just like to be a pen pal with, who would it be? We'll open this to everybody too. Fuck it.
You consider Jack Kevorkian a serial killer?
I mean, technically speaking, he was.
He'd be an interesting one to talk to, I think, because he like is the only one that was killed with, you know, out of compassion. He didn't really kill; he assisted in the suicide.
They were mercy killings, is what they were.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with the Night Stalker.
Richard Ramirez.
Yeah. He's still good.
Matt, is this one of those things where you're looking at us again? We're like weird white trash Americans with their obsession with serial killers. Like, because I'll tell you, in America, like, I've never seen anything like I've seen white women obsessed with serial killer shit. Like, they love that shit. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but they absolutely love that shit. Is that true in Canada?
It is, and We've had some high profile stuff go down here too, like the fella in Vancouver, Robert Picton, and then Bernardo in Homolka in Ontario. Like there's some weird fucking people here too.
Here's another
hockey related.
Here's another add-on. Like, what about mass shooter?
Ooh.
I'd have to go with the guy from Burger King. Or no, the McDonald's was. Yeah.
There was this thing in the town next to mine called the Brown's Chicken Massacre. Brown's Chicken was a chain of fried chickens in the Midwest that was about as big as KFC back in the day.
Yeah.
And they were amazing, and I think they're gone now. But yeah, this guy came into Brown's Chicken and robbed it and killed like 12 people. And the fucking suburb cops contaminated all the evidence before like the state police and like the real like cops could get there.
Oh, shit.
And like, you know, so they like basically had nothing, and they like couldn't, you know, they didn't find the guy for like 10 years. And then 10 years later, they busted a chick for like, you know, lowball like cocaine possession. And she's like, look, if you get me off for free, I can get you the guy who did the Brown's Chicken Massacre. And they're like, what? She's like, yeah, no joke. It's my boyfriend, and I have a video of him confessing to it. And they're like, holy shit. And of course this girl got off, and they got the guy, and hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Oh shit.
But that was like the one, because it was like, you know, literally like 5 miles from my house, you know.
Yeah.
That was always like, oof, that's intense.
Yeah.
So, for me, I would say a serial killer.
I would want a pen pal again.
Or a pen pal. I probably have to go with Ted Bundy. He seemed like an interesting dude. Like, I would try to see if I could get to what he's truly saying. You know what I mean? Because he said a lot of cryptic shit. Like, almost like he was talking in code, but he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Even though he knew he was lying to us. But it was making sense to him, you know what I'm saying? But it just in a different way than it would to us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he just lived in an alternate reality.
Yeah.
I know this is weird, and I don't mean to get, again, like, political or anything, but now that I think about it, like, okay, if I had to be pen pals with a serial killer, Saddam Hussein, like, didn't he gas, like, thousands of people and shit?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that would just be, like, an interesting... That guy's living in an entirely different world than we are.
I think that would be more considered like a mass murderer. Because, yeah, he did it multiple times.
Yeah.
Massive amounts of people at one time.
There was like an HBO show called House of Saddam or something. I always wanted to watch it, but I never got around to it.
Yeah.
It just seemed like such a fascinating, you know, situation and you know, moment in history and stuff. And of course, you know, you think about U.S. politics, you know, they propped him up as like a hero and a great man until he wouldn't do exactly what they wanted him to do, and then this guy's terrible. He gasses all these thousands of people. Oh yeah, you knew about that when you were calling him a great man, but
yeah,
that's the U.S. for you.
Shit.
So what's the final card?
Final card. What's something invisible that you wish people could see?
Interesting. What's something invisible that I wish people could see? I guess empathy or like kindness. That makes sense. I mean, I guess people can see it. People just don't look for it.
Yeah, they just don't look for it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you know what to look for, you'll see it. But most people don't really look for it. I think if they could see it, though, if the people that, you know what I mean, that it's invisible to, would gain the ability to see it, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that whole be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Yep.
Yep.
Great Abe Lincoln.
Oh, yes. No, you don't understand. I'm Abraham Lincoln. Oh, that movie's so perfectly cast. Genghis Khan is Albert Leong.
Yeah.
Fucking Joan of Arc is what's her name?
What's her name from the Go-Go's?
Oh my God! But you know what I'm talking about.
Jane something or other.
Jane Wyland.
Yeah, Jane Wyland. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, why did that
classic?
Yeah, I
So
love
perfect.
that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, all right, dudes. I guess that does it for me tonight. I think stick a fork in me and shove a tuna sandwich down my mouth and
It's been a long weekend for everybody.
resuscitate me. Yes.
Yeah.
It has. Yes.
But
Very
you
looking
guys-
forward to seeing you in New Jersey very soon, and hoping
Absolutely.
to see the rest of you guys as always very soon, either digitally or in person. And be sure to tune in, of course, all you cool cats out there. Tune into tomorrow night's VCR Redux of Look Who's Talking. It should be a pretty good time. Right on.
Looking forward to getting in on the chat on that.
Oh, hell yeah. That's going to be awesome.
I love those movies. So.
Oh, those movies are magic, except for the third one, but we'll get into that tomorrow.
Yeah. Hell, we can even talk about it on here eventually.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, buddy.
Definitely brings new meaning to dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah.
All right. As always, buddy, it's great to have you here.
Yep.
Anytime.
Always great.
We'll have you
Always
back.
great being here and talking with you dudes. So you let me know and I'm here.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
We appreciate it. For sure.
I appreciate
Now,
you guys, man.
As a quick reminder, we have, I see it right behind you there, Krager, the Terrifier comic contest, which we're just asking people to create a logo for us. As long as Punk Rock Geek Den is incorporated, it'll pass. It can be a mashup, it can be a meme, it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be. I had to rhyme it. I'm an idiot. I don't know.
It's
But
worth
yeah,
a shot.
the
Swing
winner,
for the fence.
It's too late to remember.
first place gets that signed comic book. Second place, we'll find something to get you. We'll figure something.
Yep. We are picking two.
Yep, we're picking two. So it'll be worth it. Trust me.
Yep.
And if you enter now, you'll be half of our contestants.
Absolutely.
Tell my buddy Anthony Ramirez about that. I'm pretty sure he would flip out for that and get right to work on it.
He should.
Well,
Yep.
He should, for sure.
Take anybody.
and
Hell yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yep.
Chris, buddy, thanks again.
Thank you so
Always a
much for
good
having
time.
me, guys. It's always a blast.
Yep.
Trigger, Matt, till next time. Punk Rock Geek Dead. Signing off.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Rangers ready. Evil Lord Zed is taking over. But the Power Rangers have something to say about it.
Morphin! Megazord! Power up! All systems go! Rangers, power up! Let's do it! Totally stylish!
That ought to hold off Lord Zed for now. Talkin' Power Rangers and Talkin' Lord Zed from Bandai. The power is on.
There's something wacky at McDonald's.
Big Mac.
The Tiny Toon Adventures game.
It's Babs and Buster Bunny. And person.
Fries.
Ooh, bunny.
A Diet Coke and
100 Happy Meals.
100 Happy Meals.
When's lunch?
I mean, one Happy Meal.
Now buy your kid a Happy Meal at McDonald's and get a Tiny Toon flip car. 2 cars in one, a different one each week. Collect all 4, get all 8.
100 Happy Meals, sir.
Now what?
Better pop the trunk.